This is the County Improvement Authority. It is January 28th, 2013. We're located in the lower level of the Finlaw building. Please stand and salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'll pull this out as I usually do. Notice of this meeting has been provided to the public in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act by publication in the South Jersey Times, formerly today's Sunbeam and the Elmer Times. Newspapers circulating in Salem County by posting notice to the Salem County Clerk's Office, all having been done 48 hours in advance. Copies of the board agenda minutes and a video of this meeting are posted on SCIA.com. Roll call, please.
Michael Burke, Ron Howard,
Present.
John Earbert,
Here.
Lee Schneider,
Here.
Flores.
Here.
Okay, we have the minutes. Now, the budget workshop, really, there's no minutes, there's just an agenda. So is there any objection to approving these all at one time?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, no objection. Motion made to approve A, B, and C, regular meeting, executive session meeting, December 17th, and budget workshop is January 15th. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Moved to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Budget resolutions under tab 2. Okay. Debbie, would you give us a 10-second rundown of what we're doing here?
Sure. The first items before you are amendments to the 2012, and I do mean 2012, capital budget. We're amending 2012 to include the Gateway Boulevard paving project in that capital budget, which was not anticipated at the beginning of the year when we adopted that budget. The other three divisions, nursing home, economic development, solid waste division budget, are being amended slightly following our budget workshop. I have included a budget message in your packet that indicate the line items that have been adjusted per our budget workshop. And we will be adopting those individually as amendments. The Division of Local Government Services has conferred with our auditor, Dave Rollison, who has given us the green light to go ahead and amend as well as adopt our budget tonight.
Okay. Here we are again, another year. This is the last year. I think we said something like this last year. If this is the last year, we should be taking a hit for the nursing home. From the day that we heard the word nursing home till today, this authority has invested in that facility in the neighborhood of $2 million. And you take everything we put into it and everything we got out of it, the net result is $2 million in the hole. That's $2 million of a hit that the taxpayers of Salem County would have taken if we weren't around. By the way, have you heard on the news and the papers, there's 11 counties in New Jersey who still own nursing homes, and they just joined together to approach the state to get deficit funding because none of them are making any money. So we were a little ahead of the curve. By the way, KYW mentioned 2 counties that sold, Cumberland and Burlington, not Salem. I recall, wait a minute, we were first. Yeah. But after this budget, barring any minor detail, we will not have an item in our budget for the nursing home, save the pass-through from the county, where the county pays us for the health benefits for the retired people who had worked for the county prior to us. So that'll show as a revenue coming in and a payment going out, and it should be even, barring any, who knows.
You're kind of saying the nightmare thing.
Well, sort of.
Debbie, thank you for putting up with all that. You did a great job. John, you did.
Now this, try to take a step back and look at it from the broad viewpoint. This budget is revenue neutral. amount of money coming in, the amount of money going out is the same, okay? Aside from the payment for capital expansion of the facilities. But I mean, as far as day-to-day operations, revenue neutral. Last year, we were not. We were over $1 million and $900,000. This year, if everything goes together as we planned, we should be revenue neutral. Now, we should do better than that, because if we only realize what we anticipated for existing business, we didn't plan on any new business, save for business that started in mid-year, say started June 1st, we're planning on that for the whole year coming forward. Other than that, we're not planning on any new business, correct me if I'm wrong.
You've budgeted for 90,000 tons of trash, which
Right.
is what we realized last year.
So, we're surely not gonna sit on our laurels there, and I think we have to talk about it, but I think we should try to get another 10,000, which brings us up to our 100,000 ton a year, which conforms with our 22-year plan. That's what we gotta do, roughly 50 hours, so we've got $500,000 more in revenue. So if we do that, then we'd be on our,
And moving forward with the flow control, that might plug that hole?
well, I don't know if they'll plug it 100%, but it would take it would probably take 40% of it out of it, right? Debbie, would you guess?
Yeah.
40%,
Just shy of
you know,
half.
round numbers.
And that's meeting, and right now that's at where all the towns are gonna have a meeting with their people that are in charge of their landfills and recycling centers, and then it goes to the freeholders?
It's up, yeah, it's up to this body to convene a meeting of the solid waste advisory committee in February.
From every town?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Good.
so overall, that's the broad picture. Now, in detail, you know, without getting into minute detail, we're providing for new equipment, which is in accordance with our 22-year plan. We're providing for the tank, you know, the leachate tank, which we have to decide whether we build a small, medium, or large, but basically, we have to move forward with that. There's been a lot of issues. So that's provided for, and provided for the next increment of the next cell, which we don't wanna be in the same position we were last time, waiting, you know, only bad luck helped us out, because we lost Syphilagia. We haven't lost Syphilagia, we've been in big trouble. So, this time, do it leisurely, and get the early bids, hopefully, get a good price. So that's the general picture. So now we gotta go into the details. So Debbie, you wanna lead us through this?
Sure. The first resolution before you is adoption of an amendment to the 2012 capital budget, the amount of $82,088 for the Gateway Boulevard final paving.
What's the number on that?
That is resolution.
163.
And this is-
163, no. This is 2000. Oh, yeah, we're still in the 12.
We're still in the 12th year,
Hello.
no, it's 11.
You do this every year, John.
No, what are you doing?
Calendar year 13, however, it's,
Right, that was it. Wait a minute.
our years.
Prove
are
it.
right.
Wait a minute.
And these are roll call votes.
Yes. Okay, so this is providing for the construction of the final layer of the asphalt over at the industrial park. And again, that's the last time we'll see that, except for the yearly or every other year with that soil test,
Biennial certification, which comes up this year,
$2,000 or $3,000,
less than 5.
you know, less than
We're
5.
gonna approve these separately?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Moved,
That's a roll call.
was there a second, I need a second.
Second.
Moved, second, any question on the motion? Hearing no question, roll call, please.
John Ehrlich,
Yes?
Michael Burke, Pete Flores,
Yes.
Lee Schneider,
Yes.
Ron Howard.
Yeah.
Okay, motion carried. Okay. Now.
The next resolution is for the amendment of the nursing home home division budget. We've amended 2 line items in there. We've actually received, notice from the state that our pension contribution for 2011, because you're 2 years behind, is actually less than anticipated. It was originally $350,000, so we've reduced that bill by $240,000. The reason for doing that is that it will require less capital outlay and less contribution from solid waste division to balance that budget. And we've also increased the retired health benefit cost because of this increase in state health benefit costs that we've been afforded by the state.
Very good.
Okay, now, we don't have a number on this, we have to put a number on it,
164.
164, so I'll put that at the top.
Motion approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the motion? Moved and seconded, roll call vote, please.
John Over,
Yes?
Ron Howard,
Yes.
Pete Rose.
Yes.
Lee Schneider.
Yes.
Okay, next resolution, which will be
165. This is your amendment to the Economic Development Division budget. Small modifications here in the line items of telecommunication, marketing and consulting, all being reduced.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
Second.
Moving second, any question on the motion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
John Over,
Yes.
Ron Howard,
Yes.
Pete Rose.
Yes.
Lee Schneider.
Yes.
Okay, next one.
And 166, the amendment for the solid waste division budget, 2013, affects several line items, salary and wage reductions. There was a adjustment for the amount of contribution to the nursing home as a result of the nursing home division budget. We've also adjusted the amount of figures for the 5% contribution to the county of Salem in that budget. And we've continued to fund the equipment reserves to the tune of $60,000 and construction reserves to the tune of $200,000.
Okay, entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Second.
Moving second, any question on the motion? Hearing none, moving second, roll call vote, please.
John Over,
Yes.
Ron Howard,
Yes.
Pete Rose.
Yes.
Lee Schneider.
Yes.
167, next one.
And this is the amendment to your capital budget for 2013. This provides for the release of funds from unexpended projects from the 2012 budget here. And it also includes that allocation, which will be required for planning for cell number 9 expansion and the BJ 10.
Okay,
Motion approved.
moved,
Second.
moving second, any question on the motion? Hearing none, moving second, roll call vote, please, I'm sorry.
John Over,
Yes?
Ron Howard,
Yes.
Pete Rose.
Yes.
Lee Schneider.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Public hearing, now that's not required by law, is that correct? Public hearing on the,
Take that.
no, the question is it required by law?
I think we've already had it, we've already,
I understand that, right?
Authorities don't require, by statute, you're not required to have a public hearing.
Right, but I think we agreed we're gonna have one anyway. Is that correct?
I have no problem with it.
Yeah. Any objection? Okay, hearing no objection, I'll open up to the public. Any comment on the budget? We ask you to stand, give your name, ask one question, give one comment, give up the floor. Let the next person go ahead, and then we'll come to you on the another one, you come around, and you can, we'll stay here all night for the last person. Yes, the last question. Anybody? I stay all night, that's, you do all that. Anybody from the floor? Okay, entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
In a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Okay, let the record show that the public hearing was held.
We're going to have the individual resolutions to adopt your budgets individually.
Okay,
Nursing home division. And these are the documents that we just made.
right. Okay, this is the actual document.
So please don't write on them.
Pardon?
Please don't write on them.
All right, well, you want me to, okay, you're right. Okay, we're gonna do the first one, right? Which is
Nursing home division.
nursing home division.
I'm sorry, that's the second one in the packet.
Okay. Nursing home division budget. This is gonna be what number?
167.
All right,
Next one, 68.
Oh, sorry, 116.
168. Okay, you have before you the nursing home budget. You just amended it, this is like double duty here. Entertain a motion to approve this budget.
so moved.
Second.
Move in second. Any question on the motion? Any no question? Roll call vote, please. I'll write on that
I seen you going for it.
now.
John Newber,
Yes.
Ron Howard,
Yeah.
Keith Rose,
Yes.
Steve Snyder.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to write about that. That's like the dog, you know, he does. Next one is, which one we going to?
Economic Development Division budget.
Okay. Okay, and you have that before you. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Move in second. Any question on the motion? Move in second. All those in favor, I'm sorry, roll call vote, please.
John Newber,
Yes?
Keith Rose,
Yes.
Ron Howard,
Yes.
Steve Snyder.
Yes.
Okay, next one is
Solid Waste Division.
solid waste division. You have that before you. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Move in second. Any question on the motion? Hearing no question, roll call vote, please.
John Newber,
Yes?
Ron Howard,
Yeah.
Keith Rose,
Yes.
Steve Snyder.
Yes.
Okay. That's it. Budget's done for the year. So, by the way, as an aside from the overview, we were $900,000 under our budget as we got it last year. We, as an authority, as opposed to municipal government or county government, our budget doesn't reflect tax revenue. So the fact that earlier we canceled all the appropriations from last year, which went back in, obviously, make this budget this year. So, well, get back in the capital, actually. So that's a good thing. Surplus, I'm sorry, is back in the surplus. Your mind is surplus, my mind is capital. But, the goal this year is to do the same. Now, there's some of the money, one of the obvious and biggest items was getting a cover for nothing, actually getting paid for cover rather than paying for it. That's one of the biggest items, and we thank Lynn and her crew out there for doing that. And she did such a yeoman job this past year, I guess she's gonna do a little better this year, maybe.
I said thank you too early. Thanks for the compliment, Jimmy. Appreciate that.
That's called, we call that a left-handed compliment.
No pressure.
You're tough, John.
Yeah, really.
But anyway, so obviously, that's our goal this year, and we'll set our goals, you know, and that's one of the ones we're looking at. Fuel, we're trying to work on fuel, or, you know, some ideas we have that we're helping those areas. So, that being said, what's next on our agenda? Look at this. Solid Waste Division Manager's Report.
Good evening. Since I'm always accused of standing up and talking about how much money I've made, I'm not gonna do that tonight, because you just did it. Although I do have to point something out. Very important, year end, 24. We actually made $176,108.98 on slightly contaminated cover material for the whole year of 2012.
What was that number?
Revenue,
How much?
$176,108.
108. Okay, gotcha.
98. Non-Salem County entities brought in an additional $157,881.87. So that's very good. You have my written statistical report in front of you. You also have my graphs and charts. Anyone have any questions about anything that they've reviewed? Yes, sir.
What was the spike in October?
Spike
You saw
in
in the tonnage.
Spike in the tonnage in October.
I think it was a little too early for Sandy, right?
I can't answer that. I don't know what that spike was.
That's about the time we brought the new contract on.
Oh, we saw that.
That might be Solvay, yeah, but
Sure, that's what it is,
that could be Solvay,
certainly.
yeah, that could be.
10,000, it's 10,000 a month, and that was when they first,
Yeah, that-
actually, they came on in September in a low volume.
we also saw increase in one of the non-Salem County entities bringing some additional waste in at that time too, so that could have added to it. Yeah. That's a good spike,
And when they bring the waste, they bring money.
that is correct.
And that helps keep the taxes, the charges for dumping the waste for the county residents.
That is right.
Okay, is there any other questions, from
You
Melinda?
good? I know you're like really studying that lip, see? Cover material, dollars. Yeah. No other questions?
I hear none. Without objection, I'll order our report to be filed.
Thank
If there are
you.
no objections, so ordered. Okay. What's that on my, gotta go on my, Okay, we have the engineer's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything to add to our report of January 18th, but if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Any questions for the members of the board? Hearing no questions, without objection, I'll order the report accepted and filed. Hearing no objection, so ordered.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution authorizing transfer of funds to solid waste division. Now, before we, that's last year's budget, is that
This
correct?
is still 2012 budget.
Right. Now, 2012 budget will be, it will not be complete this month, is that correct?
That's correct. Actually, some of the bills you're approving tonight are for 2012 expenses.
Right,
This seems that it's probably until at least the middle of February.
right. And probably beyond a little bit.
We're pretty good about our ability to get stuff in, so we get it cleaned up, and like those bills on time.
Right. So,
This is a $500 transfer from leachate hauling to legal advertising. We incurred the additional expense of the reorganization meeting.
right.
Motion approved?
Moves, your second?
Second.
Moves second, all, any questions?
What's the number?
It's 71.
I can write on this one. Okay, moving second. All, any questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, okay, resolution of Salem County Improvement Authority authorizing payment of bills of solid waste division amount of totaling $263,062.58. Paid by check. Manual check of $508.46, and electronic payments of $29,948.51. Entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion approved.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Move a second, any question on the motion? Move a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Economic Development Division report. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple updates on the Finwall transition meeting. Okay, Finwall transition will be completed at the end of this week, okay, over to the stand-up for Salem, city of Salem. So as of January 31st, our agreement is up. Okay, the extension is up, so everything has been processed. They've done a couple bills, we sat with them, so it was just a matter of turning over the records and everything to them. So they will have everything and continue from there, and they have that set up as to who's handling what. So,
And also, you're preparing a year-end state of the county report
for unemployment.
on employment,
business, yes, yeah.
which we did last year in a minor fashion. This one will be a little more.
Just a little more detail.
Well, yeah, I'll be ready in a week or two.
Yeah.
So by next meeting, I'll be ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be in the SCIA International. An update on that, I visited the real estate site, another site that they're possibly looking at, and took some pictures and forwarded that down, which is probably a very nice site for them. So we're waiting to hear back from them. I just was spoke with one of them today, and I'm waiting to hear back from the other fellow's been sick, so he's been out for about a week, so, met with the real estate agent. That looks like a very nice project, so, it'll be great for where it goes too, so. As I said, and that's pretty much it, the written report. Is there any questions on anything?
I have questions about the building, I know the Finlaw building on your page anyway. We built a brand new building, it leaked, and then we spent money for this moisture, the walls of the building were leaking, we spent money to do that, and that's not working either?
Well, we didn't spend any money.
We,
No, Sam County Improvement Authority didn't spend any money, okay. That, I believe it was the city.
Yes.
Yes, the city fronted the money, and then there's a lot of litigation going on with that right now, so I'm not privy to how that's working out. But
Is there
yes, to
anybody-
answer your question, yes, but the EFA system that they did put on has worked. Okay.
But we had moisture intrusion on the fourth, fifth, and third floor, that's not new, that's the old?
That's a result of Sandy, and that was actually an insurance claim now because it just lifted the roof, so, okay, so.
Wait,
there
the
was
three
some
12-year-olds
problems
built this building?
with- You got neighbors before me.
So the other question is anybody at Stand Up of Sale, now that they're gonna assume control, that we can call when things need to be done? Is there anybody in control over there?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
we have a person, we have a name.
you have a person over there, and he's handling all the problems for that. He's the contact.
You have to remember, there's an ongoing lawsuit between the city and Stand Up for Sale, and I don't even know who, against the builder for mistakes, and the architect, for mistakes made when they constructed the building. That's been going on for a while. Good one.
Yeah, it's been a
I
while.
don't know where that's at, they try to, I mean, it's really not our business, except that the rain comes in on us, then it has to be our business.
It doesn't, the EFA system doesn't leak like it used to, so,
Don't
Randy
leave
down
like you
here.
said, huh?
well, you know, this was the pool. Yeah, so, but,
Okay, anything else?
Any other questions?
Hearing no questions, without objection, I'll order the report filed and received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered. Okay. That's that one. Okay, resolution authorizing, oh, wait a minute. I missed it. Okay, authorizing payment of bills for the amount of $5,736.20. That's resolution number 173.
I'll make that motion.
Moved.
Second.
Move second. Any question on the motion? Hearing none, move second. Hearing no objection. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, we have a resolution of the Salem County Improvement Authority authorizing payment of bills for a nursing home, which is, wow, $264. Or it used to be $264,000.
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, that's quick, move that one. Who's the second, all those in favor? Any questions on the motion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? These guys, see what it does. Okay, what's next? Next item. Executive Committee report, meeting week with the Alloway Host Community Benefits. Debbie,
We've had no further action from them, nor have we responded to their proposal relative to the counter offer. So we got through the budgeting to see where we are. We'll be reaching out to set up a meeting to discuss things with them, but we have not made any provision in the 2013 budget for any increase to the Coast Community Benefit beyond the agreement that we have.
yeah, okay, so that's that. Budget, we've been working on the budget all month, so, put that away. Next, the Personnel Committee report.
Well, we post what's needed for our financial officer, which has been posted. And so we talked about our executive assistant, which we'll probably talk about that in closed session. Timekeeping program we put in is working well out there. We had a payroll audit and we owe some employees some money back. Debbie, could you make a comment on that?
Yeah, we did a full-blown audit of payroll at the end of the year to determine if the line items were appropriate and accurate. And we found that when we closed the 401K plan, there had been an extra week of withholding made on some of those employees, so we're obviously refunding those employees their money back. The pension payments, as well, we are due 2 pension-free weeks, if you remember how that works, the third of every month. We actually withheld pension those weeks last year, so we'll be giving employees those pension payments back as well. And then the last is for the state health benefits, which was correct from January through June, and then June through December, beginning December, was over withheld because of the change of the benefit plan. So the employees will be getting that as well. And I have included a spreadsheet for you.
These are total hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars?
For the most part, for employees, definitely less than 1,000. Some it's just a couple dollars in there.
And we continue to work on our policies, and procedures, still working on updating that. That's all.
Any questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objection, so ordered. Okay, next item. Economic Development Committee report, Mr. Burke is not here. Debbie, can you?
Yeah, we just had a real quick meeting this month, just talking about the economic forecast for 2013. So we're gathering the data from 2012 to see how we can improve from 2011 to 2012. Also, in the budget, we've got the provisions for strategic plan update. That was a 5-year plan from 2009 to 2012. And there is some limited activity on the microloan program front. We've got another meeting coming up with CBAC on some small businesses that have reached out to us for some needs.
Any questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objection, so ordered. That's done. Okay. Solid Waste Committee meeting, Mr. Burroughs.
We're moving forward with the Salem City leachate program, and it's a win-win for Salem and for the Salem County residents. And that's been moving forward exceptionally well. We had a meeting with the DEP, and we got a lot of things done there. And that's moving forward. We're really happy with that meeting. And the end of the report that we had to put in for the hurricane every month, which we didn't really need to do, but they were making us do it. What was it, weekly?
Daily.
Daily?
Daily.
How long did that take you? Did you say?
Too long.
Took us a month to just
Well, no, I
get a
mean,
meeting. What
each day, I mean, it was a waste
It
of
was a
hours.
daily report, and I think I did it for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, it was 0, 0, 0, 0.
Basically, they wanted to know conditions and current operating procedures, and everything was the same. We didn't have any problems, so, yeah.
We're meeting with the flow control situation with the local towns, and then that'll be getting the freeholders to move that forward. We're doing the wetlands mitigation plan, and that's working pretty good. Everything's falling in place there. So we're successful and planning on to be more successful this year.
Good. When do we think the first leachate trip will?
As soon as the city will be ready for it. We just met with the hauler last week so that they've got the route down pretty pat. So we're good to go as soon as their plant will be ready. And a couple weeks,
Couple weeks.
provided they're ready. Yeah.
So, yeah, big one.
Any questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. And no objections, so ordered. Okay. IT report.
Well, not a lot to report, other than Mr. Ford has, well, let's back up a little bit. We're, the county would like us not to be a part of their IT, and I think we wish not to have them as our IT. Right? So they haven't been able to solve all the problems we have. There's been some problems. So with a mutual agreement, we're going to terminate our services with them. We had asked for an extension to get us through April instead of March. It takes a little time to move things from one to the other. outfit, and Mr. Ford has advised us that March 31st would be the get-out date, not to be extended. So Debbie assures me that our newfound IT people are going to be able to do that, and I don't know who the new IT people are.
We're meeting with them next week. Got 3 options.
To be determined, right? But we think that we can get it all done by March 31st.
I've heard of a marriage made in heaven, this is like a divorce made in heaven.
So I think both will be happy.
Okay.
That's it.
Any questions? Hearing none, without objection, order the report received and filed. And no objections, so ordered. Okay. Executive Director's Report, hold on, that's behind,
Tab number 7.
next page.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My report is behind tab number 7, was provided to you in advance of the meeting. No significant change here from the nursing home. We're still waiting for our audit from 2010 and our appeal thereof. We've had updates from the Solid Waste Division. We are prepared out at our site for the Atlantic City Electric Clinton Substation outage. That was the primary purpose of our meeting with the DEP, was to notify them what our normal operations will be, and our generator has committed to install the additional protective equipment needed to ensure that the generator can run during that outage. We will have a 7 to 10 day outage at the beginning of that project and a 7 to 10 day outage at the end, which we will be flaring off all of our landfill gases at that time. DEP was very cooperative and very happy to hear from us. We did make a counteroffer to them on the administrative order and civil penalty. We have not heard anything definitive back, but they are very interested in talking with us further about our counteroffer. And that was a result of our last meeting. Jim gave you the update on the FINMA building, the termination of the support agreement. It does appear, based on preliminary discussions with the bonding agent and financial planner, that the debt service payment on the building for February will be made without the need to go into a deficit situation. So that'll be the 2nd year in a row this year that debt service payment will be made. Gateway Business Park, we are in receipt of the final pre-inspection of the water tower. We are waiting for further action from the county in order to approve the installation of that antenna. As we understand it, that is in the county purchasing agent's hands at this time, but we've done everything we need to do. Adam and I attended a regional sewer project meeting earlier this week. Out of the 16 proposals that were received for the request for expression of interest, the group has parted down to 6, and we'll be meeting with those 6 vendors to learn more about their proposal for financing and engineering of that project. It's a very preliminary project right now. We will meet in the next 2 weeks with the remaining 4 vendors on that. Thank you very much for your action on the budget. That will allow us to move forward. We have a smooth transition to our new disability vendor as of January 1st. And we are in transition to our new prescription vendor for state health benefits as of April 1st. I did give you a set of dates that are coming up for you to be aware of. I want to remind everybody that our annual reorganization meeting is February 18th. That is the 3rd Monday of the month, not the 4th Monday of the month. Please make note of that. And that's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. Danny, when the FINMA building, that's getting turned over very healthy from when we received it, right? Like you said, there's no, the debt service payments being paid without going in with more debt.
It's been a very good collaborative effort on everybody's part to get it to that point, yes.
Thank you for working with them next time. I know it was a lot of work.
That goes to Jim.
Jim, where's he at? Jim, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Debbie, the credit card use is not going to go in effect until we change over and it's the same.
We've actually been in testing mode with that, getting some of the software installed. It is not live yet with the vendors. We're debugging some of it. It really doesn't have much to do with our server. It's more a matter of making sure the statements come out and the bills come out the right way.
It's actually the receipts. And we just got that done. We had to install the printer directly to both PCs so that the receipt will come out
For
accurate.
January 1 kickoff on that?
Yep, we're January 1.
We would be able to go live in February, with January being the testing.
Yep, so we're gonna be hopefully starting that February 1st. Some little bugs to work out.
Okay, any other questions? Is there, yes, sir.
Mr. Director, there's I'm assuming that it's a 5 PM, the reorganization meeting?
Yes.
Second. What is it, 18?
Mhm.
18.
It is President's Day.
Pardon?
It is President's Day.
Really?
Sorry,
I work every day anyway.
most of us are not. We work at the Lincoln, right?
Is the building open?
No, not all of us.
We make special provisions for the building to be open on a state holiday all the time.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the report received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered. What's next? Let's see here. Okay, we have two resolutions on the table. One charge off to the nursing home. An appointment, oh, wait a minute, okay, we have to discuss that appointment of human resource and risk management.
We are ready to be brought forward.
Right, okay. So without objection, we'll leave them on the table. Okay, new business, resolution authorizing refunds.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Moving second, any question on the motion? And moving second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. What's that number?
175.
175. Okay. Let's go to. What's this one? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm doing the same one again. Okay, this is a resolution authorizing the board of a contract pursuant to a fair and open process to provide professional engineering service for the solid waste division.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Moving second, any question on the motion? Hearing none, moving second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, resolution establishing scope of work for design, bidding, installation and construction lines for cell number 9 for the solid waste division. This is one, now the plan here is, as we discussed last year, to move forward in a slow manner, not slow manner, but not a breakneck manner, so we're not up against the wall. I guess generally, we should be talking about that, maybe at a work session, but basically try to get in the bid before in the fall, so we can start construction in the spring of 14. Correct. Engineering would take, through that time. In the meantime, get the tank underway, because the tank is probably needed before the cell. Would you agree to that?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would.
If we get the cell done and the tank's not done, we're filling up with water.
You're gonna have someplace, you're gonna need someplace to put all that leachate, yes.
Right. And, so that's that. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Moved.
Second.
Moving second, any question on the motion? Moving second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, where am I at here? Please. Cell number 9. Resolution appointing topographical survey engineer for resource recovery, energy generation, and solid waste facility.
I'll make that motion.
Notice we don't have no landfill facility.
Right.
Second.
Moved and second, any question on the motion? This is something we do annually, required by statute, or not statute, but by rules and regulations. So moved and second, any question on the motion? Any questions? Moved and second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution authorizing executed order of extension to the existing shared service interlocal agreement between Gloucester County, the Scioto County Improvement Authority regarding regional wastewater management project. Debbie, could you give us
Yes, we've had a interlocal shared service agreement with Gloucester, County of Gloucester, for several years now, and every 3 years this comes up for renewal. As we move forward, these two organizations need to continue to share those services in order to work on this as a joint project with the DuPont Chambers Works. So it is our recommendation that we go ahead and offer an extension to that shared service agreement.
How long of an extension is it?
3 years.
3 years. I'll make the motion.
Second.
moving second, any question on the motion? Hearing none, moving second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Aye. There's a pros there.
Sorry? Second.
Roll call?
No.
Okay.
Oh, it says roll call?
There's one opposed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Resolution authorizing the shared service agreement with the County of Salem for information technology services. Take a motion.
So moved.
Second. Second, any question on the motion? I got a question, not on this motion, but we're entertaining quotes from people to do the work,
Yes, we're meeting with vendors on this.
post haste. I don't know all this stuff. I'm gonna give it, I could go on a couple hours with this one. Move to second, move to second.
Correct.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing no question, move to second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Resolution approving meeting rules. These are rules that we sort of operated under. I was under the impression we adopted these 3, 4, 5 years ago. I know we did not. I know we put them together 3, 4, 5 years ago. Apparently we never adopted them. Just say we should adopt them, pretty rudimentary, what we've been operating under.
I'll make the motion.
Move.
Second.
Move second, any questions on the motion? Move second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay. Resolution authorizing and approving the release of the and transfer of part of certain mortgage property related to the Fidwell State Office Building project, authorizing and approving the grant of an easement by stand up for sale on a separate portion of such mortgage property, and authorizing doing certain actions in connection therewith, all in connection with the completion of the Nelson House, Washington Hall redevelopment project. Okay,
This is a pretty convoluted transaction for something that's rather simple. And we do have Mr. Ruckenstein here, who is the developer for that project. Attached to this resolution were some sketches. There is a portion of our property, and I don't say our property, the stand for sale property, that is attached to this building, between the edge of the parking garage and what is the Nelson and Washington buildings. A portion of that property has been asked to be severed from the stand for sale organization, such that those buildings, when they're renovated for condominiums, can be transferred in ownership over to those owners, and they can use that as additional parking. The plan would be for there to be parking there as well as perhaps some off-site location. Because we are the conduit bonding agent, we are brought into this along with the city of Salem to actually release a portion of the mortgage as it relates to that property that's being affected. It is of no financial consequence to the Salem County Improvement Authority. It is simply a real estate transaction per se. They did do an appraisal on the property. It was valued at about $16,000. The city of Salem also has a similar resolution before them at their meeting, which I believe is also going on this evening.
how many square feet is that? I'm sorry,
For the condominiums, all defer to Mr. Ruckenstein.
the actual property in question,
Oh, that we're transferring the property for?
1,400 square
Oh,
feet?
yeah, it's not.
That sounds exactly.
Yeah,
Are you the expert on this?
Not on the square footage.
All right, you can show me on this back, you
Oh.
can point this out to me, this piece we're
Sure.
talking about. I get this is Broadway, I get this, I get Parker's Nelson, are we talking about this piece in here?
This piece right here,
Okay.
right there.
If you go to
Or
the
that
next
whole
page,
piece?
Yeah.
Checker.
Luke,
It's
flip
the part
to the
that's
next one.
unfinished there.
There's
so
a
say,
hash mark.
the condominium people need 1,400 square feet for parking. Finwall Building owns 1,400 square feet. They gotta buy it. In order to buy it, it's gotta be released from the bonds. And the process apparently is, get an appraisal on it, they pay the $16,000, whatever it is, and that probably pays off, either pays off a bond or it goes into the revenue account, I guess.
Right.
Because of the
And the
revenue.
condominiums are gonna be this Nelson building, you telling me?
Yeah,
And Washington. Both.
Yeah, the two buildings are being improved together to be one condominium building. And we came before this group before in discussions about potentially having the Improvement Authority be one of the participating lenders. We're working with Harvest Bank on that, but we did do a short presentation, but essentially we would be converting those two buildings. There'll be a new addition, similar to what was done here in the Finwall building, where you have a front historic, although there actually will be like, not just a facade, but the front building.
be retained, and the back will be a new addition, and together there's 30
Just
condominiums.
curious, where's the funding for such a building coming from?
It's coming from, a, private mortgage from, Harvest and from the New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency, and there's a, incentive program called the Choice Program that works with New Jersey Housing Mortgage Finance that is intended to create kind of an emerging market for homeownership, and that certainly qualifies for this project.
Sell my
Okay.
stock in Harvest.
For the,
Appreciate your comments.
for the betterment.
We'd like to think we will be a success.
Okay, let's, this is just for this,
Right, for the betterment of Salem, I think, I
Yeah.
would make a motion to approve this.
yeah,
This is a good move,
Second.
win-win.
No value to us, because we already have parking garage, we don't need it.
yeah.
Right now, what's out there now, grass?
Only one
There's-
thing.
Not even,
There's,
Cinder.
not even.
Not paved, this is.
We cut the grass.
All right, so we have motion, moved and seconded, any question on the motion? Hearing no further questions, I believe this requires a roll call vote, is that correct? Let's have a roll call vote.
Ron Abel,
Yes?
Pete Whirling,
Yes.
Ron Howard,
Yes.
Lee Snyder.
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you all for your.
Hopefully that'll be one more step in,
We're hoping to make your surroundings even more aesthetic.
It'd be nice to have neighbors.
Thank you very much.
okay, take care. Okay. Motion to accept resignation of executive assistant from RI. Yes, so 30 seconds. 10
yeah,
seconds.
late Friday after the board packets were released, we were in receipt of a letter of resignation from our executive assistant. I did scan and email it to you today, and it is my recommendation from our memo that you accept that letter of resignation effective February 5th.
I'll make that
She is
motion.
offered to do 2-day recognition.
Second?
Moved and seconded, question. Adam, were you allowed in this circumstance?
Debbie and I had some brief discussions about it.
Right, so, yes.
You didn't make her sick.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't have any sort of resignation.
Okay, so we're good, yeah, okay. Moved and seconded, any question on the motion, hearing none? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, okay, accept, resignation accepted. Motion to authorize this of confidential administrative assistant to be filled. This is, that's part of it.
That is in the memo form, it is the last thing in tab number 9.
Yeah, but there's a sentence. Listen.
No, authorizing the position of the confidential administrative assistant to be filled.
Oh, period.
That's all.
This was a period, that's all.
Missing a period, I'm looking for the,
No, no, no.
so it was cut off.
Yeah. It is my recommendation to go ahead and proceed in interviewing and filling the position vacated by Ms. Eppinger. A full-time position with a salary range of $10 to $16 per hour, probably on the lower side of that. It also would include the provision that the current temporary administrative assistant be considered a candidate for the position, which she is interested in, and that she also be retained through the return of my vacation in March, so that we can make sure we've got a smooth transition in the office.
So what did the outgoing make in this?
More than $16.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Moved and seconded, any questions? Hearing no questions, moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, okay, what's next on the agenda? Correspondence.
Don't jinx us, if you say something, we'll want to ask 100 questions or something, do it till 10.
Okay, correspondence, yeah, list of correspondence,
Tab 10.
tab 10. Anyone had a chance to look at the correspondence, any particular questions? Hearing none, without objection, I'll order the correspondence be received and filed. Hearing no objections, so ordered. Okay, next is public comment, right? Well, first off, do we need our financial?
Don't think so. Unless you're interested in talking about that, looking at the agenda.
Unless you have, you don't have any public comment. Okay, Without objection, I'll open up to the public, hearing no objection. The procedure is you stand, state your name and address, state your business, ask a question, give up the floor, next person to ask, and we'll come back to you for a second go around. You all know this drill here. Okay, anyone have a question or a comment? Yes, sir.
Ed McKelvey, Alloway Township.
Yes, sir.
I'm here basically to see if we can get something started on our negotiations
No problem at all, just,
with the host community.
yeah, what we'll do is, you'll hold, I mean, we'll set a meeting, right?
Okay.
Did you, bring any proposals to us?
We sent you a proposal back October 16th that was received by your office the 17th, and we haven't heard anything since then, so we're eager to get something
Okay,
started.
we get all during the day and we'll set a meeting.
Okay,
Get the meeting.
thank you.
All right, that's what we're doing. Any objection? Okay, yes? Hold on, I don't wanna. Okay, please.
Ann Sullivan, Alloway Township. I reviewed the minutes, pardon me, or the documents from December, and according to that, there was a salary increase across the board for SCIA employees as of December, for every single person.
There's not a salary increase across the board, nor was it for every employee.
Okay, it was just for certain, it was certain employees.
There were some employees who received an increase.
Okay, because I know there was a request for some people, I was over at the landfill, my other home, away from home. And I know that they've been working and they've been having layoffs and things like that, and they were mentioning something I wasn't aware, and I thought it was brought up before about, you know, people have been working for many years without an increase. But there was some employees that got an increase. Okay.
The right amounts they were reviewed based on their.
Case by case.
Yeah, case.
Oh, case by case, okay, that's good to know. And,
Question number 2.
oh, thank you for counting, that's so exciting. Regarding the New Jersey DEP, you probably met with them a couple of different things, so I'm going through the chairman. The one thing about the odor complaint, were there negotiations back and forth?
Yeah, basically what we did, Debbie, well,
I'm not sure how, you know,
Okay, yeah,
Chairman.
what we did is they set us a fine of 14,000. We said, how about we reduce it because it wasn't egregious? And we proposed, instead of just putting it to the state's general coffers, that we do a project to benefit Alloway. Now, they didn't say yes yet, but they're taking under consideration.
Okay. But I mean, that was from October, that was October 2012 event? 2011 event.
Right.
Okay.
State moves slowly. The state moves slowly.
Well, the DEP is laying off a lot of people, so they're going to do that, okay? That's my number 2 question, I yield the floor.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, if I could, Dale Cross, Pennsville. One, just to give you, elaborate on where we are with the radio equipment. The bills were processed today. So I got word, I got an email from Miss Katie Coleman, who was on your CFL at the county, that she was processing those today. So that went out to the OEM staff, and they were letting the vendor know as well that
So we
things should
should
be.
hear from Jeff anytime
Yes.
about climate.
Yeah, and I have a full staff meeting with the OEM on Wednesday, so I'll verify and double check.
We just
with
didn't want
that.
to hear somebody call us and say, they're up on the tower.
No.
Okay.
Secondly, that was just to expand on something that was made there. Looking at and the comment that was raised, I think, last meeting, looking at your end of the year, December 31st, for the budgets and everything and the voting, and then you reorganize in February. What is the fiscal year for authorities?
December 31st.
It is December 31st.
Yes.
I was gonna see if what would be the steps, and is there a statute that covers when you folks, when authorities reorganize?
Yes. February 1st, all authorities.
Sooner than February 1st.
No sooner than February 1st?
It says, the statute says during the month of February, doesn't it?
It says on or after February first,
Right.
so it's gotta be, it can't be before February first. I don't have the site with me. but
Yeah,
it
the
can't
purpose
be.
of it is so it gives the governing body time to appoint a member.
Right.
That's the, That's how.
It just like the point that was raised, I think, the last meeting was that here you are, you're taking action on professional services and all those other things for the following year when you may not have those folks come February first. The board could change.
Oh, yeah, and, you know, ideally, in the statutory world of authorities, they would love you to have had your adopted budget completed 60 days before the end of the calendar year, which, as you know, would require things to be pushed into the September, October timeframe.
You know, they want you to adopt your budget in October and you don't know what your revenue is yet, you know?
Then there was one
We
before.
projected, by the way, we came pretty darn close in our projections, but, okay. Any other questions? Oh, are we on numbers? Oh, yeah.
I'm on, they aren't numbered, but I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4th page in, it says EF, it's in the resolution packet.
Which division?
I'm sorry. Okay, this thing, I'm sorry. On the page it says,
Which division?
Always.
Okay.
okay, EFT wires, SWD operating account, item 1221. Who are SHB?
State health benefits.
State health benefits for retirees for $17,000, okay? And then 2 pages after that, now we're in, it looks like economic development to me.
Okay.
And it's check number 1772 to Gable Associates for $3,223.50. Who are Gable Associates and what did they do for
There
them?
are energy consultations, so they thought this would be direct stall energy program for the Hires Ave parking garage, and also they evaluated some of the solar and cogen opportunities for Sound County, not the county government, Sound County government.
Okay, I worked with Direct Install in Elmwood Township and they were really helpful. I didn't have to hire anybody, it's interesting. These people were hired by Salem County Improvement Authority, Economic Development paid Gable Associates.
Yes, they were actually hired in 2010 and 11.
So it was over, it didn't have to do with the Direct Install.
Oh, they assisted us with the direct install.
They assisted us
with evaluating solar as well as cogen opportunities
So
in
the-
the entire county. Of
So they reviewed your, I mean, when you say Direct Install, that's where I was getting confused. Direct Install is like to me, it's another program, it's paid for by other stuff. But these people, they were your consultants
Yes,
for all of
we need to evaluate to make sure we were actually going to achieve the energy savings in changing out the lighting in the parking garage for Hires Ave, and what the return on that payback would be.
Because I thought, well, my Direct Install gave me all that paperwork. They showed me all that. I shouldn't have believed them, huh?
Residential may be different than commercial, but
It was commercial buildings. Thank you very much.
Any other members of the audience have any questions, comments? Here, none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public portion. Good. Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Public portion is closed. What do we got? We got anything? That's it?